Hey guys, welcome to the Maresa Ng official channel where we help businesses to grow. So the question that I got recently is this. Maresa, how do I manage multiple businesses at the same time without losing focus, without being distracted? Now, how do I do this? Head over to my page, the Maresa Ng official page on Facebook, and type me a question. I'd be very happy to hear from you. Or email me at talktome@maresaeng.com, and I'll personally be able to receive your question as well, and I will be able to do a video on it. I'll be happy to be able to answer some of your great questions. So this is another very great question from entrepreneurs that usually have more than one business. That's quite normal for a lot of entrepreneurs, but how do they do that and to continue still staying in control? So I've got 4 tips here, and these are non-negotiables. These are how you got to be able to build around you, all right? So the 4 key criteria in order to be able to manage multiple businesses. Number 1, hire great managers. When I say hire great managers, there are people that are not, now remember, not great executors. You're not looking for executors. If you are gonna manage more than one business, you gotta be managing the managers, not managing the business. Your managers manage the business. That means your managers are managing everybody else in the business while you manage the managers. You probably lead the managers at some point. Now remember this as well. When you're hiring managers, please don't pay peanuts. If you're paying peanuts, you're gonna get monkeys. So a lot of business owners, a lot of leaders, they end up trying to skim on a couple of dollars, but they end up, if the manager is not good at what they're doing, they end up getting sucked into the business while other businesses start to suffer as well. Number 2, this is absolutely important. Have a default diary. Now, if you've not watched my video on how to build a default diary and the power of a default diary, it will empower you to be able to, number 1, consistently and systematically allocate time for all your businesses. And the default diary is also built based on different stages of the business. Now, some businesses are a startup, you probably spend a little bit more time there. And some businesses are a little bit more mature. You've got like 5 managers in that place, and you've got like 50 full-time employees, and it's a pretty mature business. And you are doing less hand-holding over there, so there's probably gonna be a little bit less time in the default diary, perhaps just plotting time to be with your managers, to have consistent and systematic meetings. Now, most of the time, sometimes your business are gonna be, in other places. Look, guys, do your meetings online. It's absolutely productive, and these days there's so much technology that helps us to get that going. But the only thing is, we've got to plot consistent time. Now, that consistent time also helps our managers to stay accountable for the businesses while we look at the whole entire landscape. And number 3, this is so important. If you're going to run multiple businesses, there has got to be systems in place. You've got to have your SOPs, your standard operating procedures in place, as well as your process flow charts. You've got to have all that down to the T, because that helps you to create this thing called the dashboard. Now, the dashboard is so important. The dashboard are going to be numbers that come up to you, and then you look at the performance of your business from one place. Now, you got to be able to, it's like driving a car. When you're driving a car, you have all the situation of your car on one place. Now, if you want to know how much fuel, you want to know how fast you're going, you don't have to stop the car and sniff the petrol tank to be able to see how much petrol there is in there. But a lot of that is already on a dashboard. Now, you've got to be able to enable that. Now, in order for you to be able to run multiple businesses, you've got to enable the systems, the processes have to be clear, and people do things in the businesses in standard, consistent ways, and you also develop a dashboard. Now, when you have a dashboard, when you have reports that come up to you, you don't wake up in the middle of the night panicking, oh my gosh, how is that business doing? You kind of forgot about that business because you're focusing on something else. Now, you don't need that. You can have everything come up to you, and you can see where it is for yourself and be absolutely sure that the business is working, whether or not you're there. Now, that's important for you. And number 4, give your team freedom in making decisions. Start designing decision thresholds. Now, this is also very important. Why? Because if you've not watched my video on micro and macro management, there are times when you've got to be able to micromanage something or someone, or macro manage. But how do you do that? Please watch that video. But this is the thing. The fourth key is, if you're gonna manage multiple businesses, you've got to determine where your employees have their own power and freedom to be able to make decisions. You don't get involved in everything. Now, of course, you get involved if your employees are not so sure on how to make those decisions, and in the past, they've not shown you that they could. Now, then you're micromanaging a little bit. But in order for you to macromanage, and you got to be able to step back, because you're managing multiple businesses, you've got to determine where the decision thresholds are so that you don't get involved in everything and then get burnt out at some point. Managing multiple businesses is entirely rewarding. I know why entrepreneurs do it, and this is the thing. If you manage multiple businesses, just make sure it doesn't make a sacrificial lamb out of you. And if you're making a lot of money, that's great. But if you don't have time and you don't have freedom to be able to enjoy all that money, then it's not worth it, because it's all about having a great business and a great life. Because being in business is about having more life. Take care, and I'll see you next week.